people, Mr. Blackguy 410, be your captain for this evening. And today I want to talk about the movie Snowpiercer. I know I don't review movies often. Actually, this is the first actual film I've ever reviewed. Normally I just stick to music and anime. I can't say that I'll keep reviewing movies, but I felt compelled to review this because it was something I was looking forward to for a while, and I finally got a chance to watch it last night. The movie stars, let me look up the names. I'll give you a notice. If I ever review films, I'm terrible with Hollywood names and actors. I just remember faces. But anyway, film stars like Chris Evans, Kang-ho, if I'm saying his name right, Jamie Bell, Tilda Swinton, and Go Ah-soon. Those are some of the main people pretty much in the movie. And Snowpiercer, I heard about this a few months ago, and I saw the trailer, and I just thought the concept of it was just really dope. So I was like, I definitely want to see this when it comes out, and I wanted to see it in theaters. And then apparently there was some kind of controversy. I didn't read into it about rights being acquired or something, and it didn't have a major release. I live in Maryland. Only 2 theaters here were playing it, which was the Charles downtown and Owens Mills, which is way I'm not driving out that far just to see this movie. But luckily, thanks to good old Dish Network, this was on demand, and I ordered it last night after I got me some food. And yeah, I'll go right into it. For people who don't know what it's about, basically what happened in this movie was the world tried to pretty much counteract global warming. Didn't turn out so good. They basically started another ice age, and everybody pretty much kicked the bucket as a result of that ice age. And the only people who lived survived on Snowpiercer, which is this really massive just train that kind of just rides around, and it's pretty much the last living thing on Earth. Everyone else outside is pretty much frozen and ice aged over there. They're all done. What I really liked about the movie though was the social implications of it. Inside the train, they definitely have a hierarchy going on. So you got all the rich people in the front. They get all of the good food. They get the good train cars. They're living a life up the front. Then you get to the people, Chris Evans, and his character's named Curtis. You get his people. They're all in the back of the train, and things, as you can imagine, not going too good. The back of the train, they're definitely not living lavish. They're pretty much all poor. They get treated terribly. They don't get any of the good food. And the movie's basically, they're we're trying to, we don't want to live like this anymore. So Curtis pretty much, they start a revolution. They're trying to make their way to the front of the train because they're trying to be treated just as good as everyone else is. And that was pretty much the basics of what the film is. But I thought that just the idea of it, and I know it sounds simple the way I'm explaining it, but you have to. Oh, my bad. I got Facebook going on. Let me exit out real quick. Yeah, but like I said, you have to watch this to really get a full appreciation of it. It's definitely shows it. Well, no, sorry. It definitely does a good job of showing how social classes are treated, and the whole sci-fi part of it makes it even that much more interesting. And it's just cool to see when they do fight their way up to the front of the train, the different just kind of rooms they go through. They had one room which was a underwater aquarium. That was cool to see. They had another room. And this was towards later in the movie. I try not to throw too many spoilers. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but there was one room where there were a bunch of children, and they had the children. They were being explained the history of the train. It was created by Wilfred, who's the guy who did create the train, and it was really creepy to hear the chants and songs they had the children singing, because they basically, I can't remember like the songs off the top of my head, but like the little children were saying, oh, what have we been taught? It's like, oh, the people in the back of the train are blah blah blah, and saying just a bunch of like these terrible things about them, which I just thought was a really good play on a good like realistic look at like social classes in our current world, and how poor people are perceived. I think this movie did a good job of portraying that. Acting was pretty solid. Tilda's character did she did a really really good job with her character. I mean, you watch the movie and you probably hate her as a character, but like as acting wise, she definitely did a really good job. Curtis, of course, he did a really good job with his character, kind of being the leader, leading the way. The action in this movie, even though it is a sci-fi, there's definitely action in this movie, and it gets pretty brutal. I won't spoil the whole scene, but there's a scene when you'll see some night vision goggles go on, and when you see the night vision goggles go on, it gets real. Like that scene was so dope. That was probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. That scene was crazy. Yeah, like even overall though, even aside from that scene, the fighting in this movie gets pretty gruesome when they start making their way towards the front of the train. Without giving away too many spoilers, like I said, I know the premise kind of sounds like basic, but the execution was great. I loved how from the way they filmed it, the setting of the train, the different rooms they go in, and you get to see what different functions of every room is. Some rooms like are just like controlled water flow. Some rooms are for sleeping. Like no, I can't really like explain it right now, but when you'll see what I'm talking about. Just how the different rooms in the train are set up and like what some of their functions are. And like towards the front of the train, they had one car which is like a party car. People were just in there, just partying, just living it up. Yeah, man, this movie was really really dope. Like I said, I wish I could go more into this review, but if I did, I would probably start having to give away too many spoilers, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. But if you've heard about it, or if you haven't heard about it, probably due to its limited releasing, I can easily say this is definitely one of my favorite movies this year. It might be, it's either number one or number two, even though I don't know, I've probably only seen like 3 movies this year, but out of the 3 I've seen, this is probably my number 1 or number 2. Like I said, good acting, great story. The concept of it was really dope. How all of humanity is just surviving on a train that just kind of just runs around the world. Yeah, man, this was a really good original movie with good action, good social commentary. Like I said, didn't get a major release, but I guarantee you this is just as good as any popular film you'll watch this year, guaranteed. Yeah, man, that's about it. Definitely go cop this on demand. If it is playing in a theater near you, you should definitely go check it out. Buy the DVD when it comes out. Like I really really enjoyed this. This is why I felt like I had to review this, even though I don't do like actual film reviews that much. This was definitely worth the watch. So shout out to everybody who was involved with making this movie. I know it probably didn't get the push that it deserved, but the product turned out being way above average, at least in my opinion. Hopefully I'm not hyping it up too much, but I enjoyed it that much that I had to come in here and just throw this review out here real quick. So Snowpiercer, Chris Evans, salute to everybody else who has something to do with this movie. Great movie. Definitely go see it when you get a chance. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Be easy.